Bayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiging telas ng sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ang bangaw, ay hinatang tula, kawin sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihinig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magtitinig. Luman ang araw ng warhabit pagsinta, mo'y langit sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya ng pagkay mga amin, at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Our Heavenly Father, the fount of all goodness and grace, the cause of wisdom, the source of intelligence, we welcome you, O Lord, to this auspicious gathering of your beloved, who continuously give you thanks for every opportunity to learn something new and become fruitful to the works of your creation. We humbly come to you, not because we are worthy, but because we find ourselves in need of you, who is our strength and our hope, to continue despite the challenges we face in health, prosperity, and our solidarity with one another. We pray that today's gathering, made possible by the grace of advancements in technology and social media, become successful in its endeavors, so we can offer it back to you as our humble offering to honor you, glorify you, and love you through our deeper connection with everyone. May we find bliss in today's session and become more productive children and co-creators of the earth. This we ask and pray through Christ our Lord. Amen.
And welcome to Dear Self, Kaya Mo Yan, Kaya Mo Yan. This afternoon is the second session as we will be having our practice and rehearsals as we prepare for the bar exams this coming few months away from now. We would like to welcome everyone for joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is John Ceballos from UZ Law, and we would like to welcome everyone from our friends from Luzon, in Bisaya, maayong hapon kaninyong tanan, and in the Mindanao Law Schools. This afternoon is entitled Dear Self, Kaya Mo Yan, Kakayanin Mo Yan. Join us this afternoon as Honorable Maria Milagros N. Fernan-Cayosa share some tips to mentally prepare while braving the exam of your life, the bar examinations. How about we get a thumbs up from our Facebook followers? We are live on Facebook. Can I see some hearts and reactions right there? Heart and some like reactions. It would surely appreciate us right here. I see some hearts and likes. Thank you, thank you. We have now 100 plus viewers. Welcome, welcome everyone. So now I would like to acknowledge the presence of the deans of the distinguished law schools that we have right here. We also have speakers and important guests and the organizing team from PALS and REX. The reason of this event is we want to help the bar takers, This year's bar is already daunting as it is, given the incorporation of the new guidelines and technology. These events from August to October during the Bar Operations Pilipinas are all for our baristas. So we are expecting the bar takers and fellow law school students like me, I'm a second year student, who partake. So we should be preparing for the bar examinations. I know it is not easy to prepare for the bar exams. The batch 2020 has been delayed, and with the first ever regionalized and digitalized bar examination, we prepared the whole month of August to mentally prepare ourselves. This event is brought to you by the Philippine Association of Law Schools in collaboration with Rex Education and Edo Campion. Educampion is Rex Education's philosophy and invitation to everyone to join together and develop initiatives with the best interest of the Filipino learner in mind and in heart. Rex Education has been working and partnering with experts to create the roadmap for everyone to champion legal education. Learn more about our official partner for Bar Ops Pilipinas 2020-2021, the best bar ever webinar series. Let's watch this video.
It is a noble aspiration to want to dedicate one's life in service of those who are oppressed and defenseless against the unfair and the unjust. It is an admirable advocacy in an adult, but it is awe-inspiring for a child to dream of speaking for those who are voiceless, to stand up in defense of the law and the common good. Because while every child dreams of a future, not every child is like you, who dreams of shifting society and changing the world. But life brings many possibilities. You may have chosen to push through the roadmap to your goal, or you may have changed your priorities, opted to explore, preferred to discover the world, or work on yourself first before moving towards your dream. Regardless, what's destined for you will always call you back. A dream deferred is not always a dream denied. Rex Education helps in building that dream every step of the way. For 7 decades, legal education has been at the heart of Rex Education, providing learners and practitioners with market-leading materials covering every discipline of law. Rex Education has become a standard in textbooks at every stage of a learner's journey, and it shows through the 70 years of being the most preferred by students, authors, professors, and thought leaders.
Estudyante pa lang ako, 1990, yung mga professor, ang piniprescribe nila, yung mga law books, ang publisher, Rex Publishing. So at that time na nagsulat ako ng book, so I decided to let Rex Publishing to publish my book. Bilang isang author ng law books, napaka-importante sa akin na yung mga librong sinulat ko accessible sa mga estudyante. Ang Rex Bookstore kasi napakaraming branches niyan eh. Hanggang Mindanao meron silang mga branches at napakarami nilang ahente na personal na pumupunta sa mga eskwelahan para may offer nung libro ko. Pati na rin yung mga libro ng mga ibang authors. So yun ang nakikita kong dahilan. Kaya ako, pati na yung mga ibang authors ng law books, nagtitiwala sa Rex Publishing.
Rex materials helped me in reviewing for the bar exam. Most of the books that I used in law school were published by Rex, and I practically used the same old law books during the bar review, as they were complete and comprehensive. Being then a working student, it was financially hard to buy new books. Good thing, Rex offered these law books at an affordable price. Also, the books published by Rex are known for their quality. The law books that I purchased from Rex and those that I borrowed from the school library, mostly published by Rex, became my strong armor. weapon, and constant companion as I hurdled the challenging life in law school. It is an honor to become part of Rex's family, and I am proud and happy to be with the best publisher in legal education.
Quality.
Rex Education.
For you, who's taking the leap, Rex Education has prelex in preparation for law school admission exam. For you, who's uncertain but keeps on striving because your dream is not yours only, but of your family and the society. No matter the challenges, you move forward because every minute means 100 words read. Rex Education has reliable textbooks and codals that you can depend on in your study of law. For you, who's a step closer to your dream and is excited to bring pride to your family, Rex Education has bar reviewers to gear you up for your review subjects and help you pass the bar. For you, who's braving new beginnings, Rex Education has instructive books and learning solutions for new and seasoned lawyers. And for you who's in the forefront of shaping today's finest lawyers, no more second guessing. Publish your book and depend on Rex Education for editorial, project management, promotion, and distribution. Whether it be education, practice, or profession, let Rex Education help you be the best that you can be. Everything that we do is dedicated to helping you succeed because we value you. And your dream of becoming a lawyer and excelling as one. Not just for the past 70 years, but also for the following generations to come. Rex Education will be with you every step of the way.
There you have it. Thank you so much, Rex Bookster, for making this event possible. Without Rex Bookster, I can't imagine how we can prepare the bar. Thank you so much for preparing these series of seminars for us, the bar takers and the law school students like me. Now, to officially welcome this event proper, we would like to welcome, please give me a thumbs up in our Facebook page, Dean of PUP College of Law and current President of the Philippine Association of Law Schools. Please give a warm applause to Dean Hemi Letu Castillo.
Thank you, Jan. Dear law students, professors, deans, and bar takers, welcome to the second event of the Philippine Association of Law Schools Bar of Pilipinas in collaboration with Rex Bookstore entitled Dear Self, Kaya Mo Yan. Last week, you heard directly from three notable law schools, law school deans. They shared their own personal experiences as they braved the bar during their time, and you discovered that, like you, they also had their fair share of challenges. We hope that their words have brought you encouragement and inspiration, enough to help you have a mindset that if they can do it, you can also do it as well. Today, our guest speaker, who is a well-accomplished lawyer, will speak about maintaining a healthy mindset even as you face the daunting bar. Yes, it is tough, and yes, this might be the most important thing that you're preparing for right now. But equally important is the state of your mental health. A healthy mind and outlook will be your friend. I should take the bar exams on November. So listen carefully to today's message and absorb as much as you can. So dear barista, remember, kaya mo yan. God bless everyone.
Thank you so much, Dean Christine. I can see here we have a lot of comments in our Facebook Live. May I ask our viewers to please comment from what school are you? I have here some who are tagging their friends. Please comment from what school are you so we could acknowledge. Now, at this juncture, we would like to welcome everyone. For those who just joined, this is the second series of our mental awareness for the Bar of Pilipinas 2020-2021 entitled Dear Self, Kaya Mo Yan. The next part of the program aims to know our baristas in preparing their mind and taking care of their mental health, even as they prepare to take the bar. With my great pleasure, I'd like to introduce to you our speaker for this afternoon. She is Attorney Maria Milagros N. Fernan-Cayosa. She graduated from the University of the Philippines with a degree of Bachelor of Science in Psychology in 1984. She earned her Juris Doctor degree at the Ateneo de Manila University in 1994 and was admitted to the bar in 1995. Attorney Fernan-Cayosa has extensive experience in both private and public sector. She was office manager of the M.B. Fernan Associate Law Office, assistant executive of the Cebu Newspaper Workers Foundation, and corporate secretary of the Asian Capital Equities Incorporated. In the judiciary, she was special assistant to the Chief Justice at the Supreme Court of the Philippines and court attorney of the Judicial Bar Council. In the legislative bar branch of the government. She was legislative staff officer, Senate of the Philippines, and thereafter a consultant of the Office of the Senate President. She was a managing partner of the Cayosa, Fernan-Cayosa law offices, where she specialized in women, children, and family law. Facebook, help me welcome no other than the Attorney Maria Milagros N. Fernan-Cayosa.
Thank you, John, and thank you for that very kind introduction. I'd like to thank PALS President Dean Jemmy Lito Festin and to the PALS Governing Board for the invitation to speak today. And I'd like a special shout out to my former JBC Executive Assistant and now PALS Executive Officer Angelica Angel Cruz, fellow teachers and students of law deans, our dear baristas, as you call them now, and guests, good afternoon. Allow me to share my screen. Yan. I like the first introduction that Anna made when he asked me, preliminarily before we went on air, that it was going to be a very light lecture. And I said, definitely it will be a light lecture because preparatory for the very serious stuff. I think we need to prepare ourselves mentally. No? So, medyo magkukwentuhan lang tayo. Today, I will also share with you some of my experiences as as a law student myself, a former barista, and also I've also been a law professor, and I will share with you some of the experiences that I've had. It's been a while since I've actually attended any bar operations activity, and definitely this is the first time that I will be conducting a bar operations lecture online. And again, I thank President Jemmy for this opportunity together with Rex Education and Educapion for this opportunity to share. And President Jemmy referred to as my, and I quote, rich background experience. Okay, I will make you the judge of that if it is indeed rich, but I do hope that I will be able to impart a thing or two or more takeaways for you today. I call my thoughts and ideas not just as a former bar examinee, but also as a law professor who has actually conducted classes and digital examinations. I have also taken an exam to qualify for the judiciary and a prejudicature program, the first ever, also conducted online. So I do have experience in taking a test online. And I also call from the experiences that I have come across in my tenure as a regular member of the Judicial and Bar Council. I also take with me some of the information given by no less than Bar Chairperson Justice Marvic Leonen last July 1st, 2021, when he conducted a webinar on the 2021 bar examinations. And also, I watched with interest the first forum in this series of lectures delivered by President Festin, and the sharings made by the law deans, Joey Hafilenia, Alshwade, Ismael, and Jay Layo. So I wanted to put all these things together and, from there, perhaps come up with a framework so that you will know how to proceed mentally, emotionally, physically even, and spiritually. So as it was requested in the letter, the objectives of this webinar is actually to help you bar examinees prepare for the exams by encouraging you to examine the state of your physical, mental, and spiritual health. I will also be imparting with you some practical tips to improve your mental and spiritual well-being. What you are facing is unprecedented. That's why this is considered the best bar ever, because it's never been done this way before. First, as John correctly introduced the topic, this is the first time that bar examinations will be conducted in a digital setting, and also in a localized setting. So is that good or bad? Plus, aside from it being digital, so you will be using, instead of a test booklet and a pen, your laptop. I recall Justice Conan saying that only in very circumstances that would require any individual to use pen and ink and the paper will they allow the examinations to be written down. But as generally, you will have to have that mindset that this will be digital examinations, plus the fact that it is happening during a pandemic. So there are really many things to think about, to consider when taking the bar examinations in November. However, you can also look at the bright side. The fact that there is a bar examination this year is actually something that we all have to be grateful for. Last year, the bar could not be held, obviously, because the pandemic came like a thief in the night, and so all the preparations that were done for the regular bar examinations had to be shelved to ensure the safety and health of all those who are involved in conducting the bar examination. The other plus about this bar is that right now you are studying and reviewing from the comforts of your home or your own private space. And eventually, exam even if you live outside of Metro Manila. Now, another thing that I recall Justice Leonen also saying is that this bar will be in a way simplified because he assures the examinees that there are two things. No? One, that there will be one question for every problem presented. In other words, there will be no sub-questions. And second, there will be a simplified grading system of maximum of 5 points per question. So what does he say that how do you get the maximum points? He says that if you are familiar with the codal provisions that would be applicable to that law, then by all means indicate so. However, if you correctly answer the question, but the support that you gave or codal provision or the jurisprudence may not be on force on the problem, you will still get points. And then down the line, just make sure that you write something. So in other words, in a way, it is simplified because you know that there will be just 5 points for every question. So you can pace yourself accordingly because anyway, each question will have the same weight. Now, another plus to think about with this bar examination is that you don't have to go to the Supreme Court in order to submit all your requirements. I know getting your credentials online or from remote is also still a challenge, especially now that in some areas, including here in Cagayan, where I am speaking from, we are on ECQ in Tugigaraw until August 30. So some of the offices will be closed, and we know that the deadline for submitting the requirements and to apply for the bar examinations is September 15. So I do hope that you will all meet the deadline for those who intend to still submit their applications. Another point that he also clarified was that there was no need for you to buy the software. Once you register for the bar examinations, that software will be available for you. This software is called Bar Plus. So that's one stress of your load. So you don't have to pay because that will be included in the fee that you will be paying to take the bar examinations. So using the Bar Plus, the applicants will be able to submit your personal details, your necessary forms, and your application, upload your petition, and pay for your application digitally. So this is one stress of your load. Now, where will you be taking the exam? Justice Leonen said that they will consider where you are a resident of, where you graduated from, and the rest will be at the discretion of the chairman. So they will take these things into consideration. I think the first would be, could it be what we prefer, the area of our preference? Well, basically, they will look at the residence and the school that you graduated from. And I think there are only certain areas that would have the localized, but I think they're trying to get as many possible venues so that it will be convenient for the barristers. Okay, take a deep breath. And the first thing that you should remember as you prepare to take the exams, yes, don't panic. Okay. I just had to share this don't panic button. I actually have a, well, let's say a sentimental anecdote to this. When, as a young girl, then, I would help out with my dad's things. And, during the time that they, lawyers, my dad was a practitioner in the 80s. And he was also a law dean, for 32 years. So he would have a briefcase. Now, the modern day lawyer would have his laptop and maybe a digital book or an iPad. But during those days that they would bring all their materials in briefcases. And one thing he constantly kept in his briefcase was a don't panic button. And it stuck with me. So, I'm sharing this with you because I know it is very daunting to think about taking the bar exams. But if you are inclined to do so, remember this button and say to yourself, don't panic. In fact, affirm yourself and say, dear self, kaya ko yan. Kaya ko yung bar. Okay? And how do we ensure na kakayanin mo yung bar? Balikan natin, no? What are we facing again? Definitely, the bar will be held in November, and that is in 76 days or 11 weeks, depending on how you are counting. It will be digital, so you will have to learn, if you do not know yet, how to use a laptop or familiarize yourself with a laptop as the examination tool. And finally, it will be conducted during the pandemic. So there will be safeguards to ensure the health and safety of all those concerned, the examiners, the examinees, those who will be conducting the exams, those who will be proctors, all of that, all the team. In fact, this early, it is most likely that before you will be admitted, you will have to show that you will have gone through testing. So, mindset mo na yan. You will have to know that these are the things that you will have to encounter in November. So, given that, how do we address all of this? All of these things can be considered as stressors. How do you define a stressor? A stressor is any stimulus that has a potential, take note of the word, potential, for triggering a fight or flight response. What does it mean when you have a fight or flight response? A fight meaning, lalabanan mo, you will do something very drastic, to combat it, or you will respond to it frantically, or you will totally disregard it. I-dead man mo, take it out of your consciousness. But this is what you call a stress reactivity, how you respond to that stress. If you do have a stress reaction, it could also bring in a strain in your physical, psychological, behavioral, and mental well-being. How does this work? Example of a stressor. You have your schedule layout. I'm sure many of you already have a day-to-day schedule of what you're going to do as you prepare for the bar. You wake up, supposedly you will wake up at 6 a.m. But then today, instead of waking up at 6 a.m., you ended up waking up at 7:30. Napasarap ang tulog. And this would translate that it would deprive you of 1 hour of your study time. So because you normally start your day at 6 o'clock, you do exercise, you change, you have an early breakfast, and then usually you're down sitting studying at 6:30 a.m. But today you weren't able to start early. You started at 7:30. So what are the consequences there? You actually have a choice whether to have a stress profile or a healthy profile. Now let's examine, what does one with a stress profile have? No? Their thoughts would be, okay, I cannot wake up late, otherwise I will be lagging behind in my review. And what does this trigger? The stress reactivity, when you think about it and you react and say, I get tense because I'm behind my schedule. Your perspiration occurs, your heart beats fast. And with all of that happening, you have stomach upset, you have a headache. On the other hand, someone with a healthy profile would say, no problem, I woke up late. Okay, that means I will have to give up my break time. So I will have to shorten so that the 30 minutes that is my deficit will be taken from my free time. Okay, so I will have 2 days. In 2 days, I will already be able to recover. So, okay, so that's how you thought of how you're going to respond to it. Was there any stress reactivity? None. Was there any strain? Pause? None. So this is an example of how you can actually manage the stress. Okay? Stress management does not mean that you take away all the stress. You cannot do that. You cannot do the fact that, the exam is scheduled in November, so it's really going to happen in November. Okay? In the extreme, maybe if there's like a major typhoon and it will not proceed, but as of today, it is scheduled to start on November 7th. It will start on November 7th. It will be digital. So if everything goes as planned, then you will still have to deal with all of those things. So part of stress management does not mean you eliminate the stress. What you are actually trying to do is to limit the harmful effects of stress while maintaining your life's quality and vitality. And why do you need to do this? That you improve or you maintain your quality of life and your vitality, your energy. That is to help ensure that when you get to the bar, you will be at your peak performance. Okay? So peak performance, it means you can perform, take the exam to the best of your capacity and your capabilities and the best way that you can prepare for it. How do you do that? When you speak of peak performance, you want to create a balance between increasing energy and providing time for renewal, because you can't have high energy the whole time. No, sige, todo ka ng aral, hindi ka na natutulog. Okay? Because you have to peak when you're about to take the exam. You cannot peak by October. Pagod ka na, after that, it's down, all the way down. Your energy level will go down. So, in other words, it has to be gradual. And then, you will have peak performance if you are in your optimal health or wellness. You're in the best possible health condition, or you have wellness. You have a life that has vitality, it has purpose, and it has meaning. So how does one acquire peak performance for the bar? The traditional thoughts of Juvenal. Juvenal was this Roman poet. And the phrase mens sana in corpore sano, a healthy mind in a healthy body, is actually the first line of Juvenal's satire X. So while there is wisdom in the observation made by Juvenal, I am more inclined to concur with the modern perception of what is health. And that is confirmed in a book by Sharon Ferret on peak performance. Sharon Ferret is a behavioral science professor, and she posits that being healthy means living life fully with purpose, meaning, and vitality. And this would involve being conscious of the connection among body, mind, and spirit. So this is her book, no? Peak Performance. So I pick up these ideas from her. Let's examine what Dr. Ferret describes in peak performance. I think in essence, it is also similar to what Dean Joey Hofilenia expressed last week, no? When he says, when you prepare for the bar, he just said it in a different way, but it's in essence the same. He said that an examinee, and I quote, must prepare physically, mentally, and through prayer. Okay, let's see how these actually are in parallel to each other. Dr. Farrell says that to keep the body healthy, one must, of course, you all know this, you have to eat healthy foods, exercise regularly, you get enough sleep. When you eat healthy foods, you have to remember the food pyramid. And this is the one I picked up, the one from the Food and Nutrition Research Institute, which I think is still good. Just enough of fats, oils, and sugars, and eat the most of carbo. You need to carbo load, vegetables and fruits, okay? And you eat moderately animal foods, dried beans, and nuts. Well, of course, you have individual preferences, and maybe most of you already know how your body reacts to certain foods. So you would be in the best position to know what would be good for you. But this is still a very good guide. She also says that exercising regularly, preferably outdoor, like running and walking. But if that is not possible, especially on ECQ or even on MECQ, there are so many online resources on YouTube and FB. Personally, I use Walk with Leslie. I'm not trying to promote any particular, I've seen it work for me because instead, I usually would like to take 4 to 5 kilometer walk, but because it is prohibited now, then this is actually an online activity that you can do, and it has the same effects. And that is borne by my Fitbit. So my Fitbit says that I take as many steps when I walk outside as I do doing this exercise. Of course, there's also yoga that you can do online, and jumping rope. For those of you who have a trampoline, jumping is also a nice form of exercise, of course, depending on your health status, and that's why you really have to examine how what is the condition of your body. Of course, in consultation with a health expert. Sleep. Sleep is important even as you review for the bar, because if you're sleep deprived, your brain cannot absorb much. It needs to rest. Okay, so this is the recommended hours of daily sleep. I know 7 hours seems like a lot when you're preparing for the bar, but it does not necessarily mean that you have to sleep through the entire 7 hours. It can be staggered. It can be 6 hours, at night, and maybe rest of 1 hour during the day. So an aggregate of 7 would be good. But taking care of the body does not stop at getting the right foods, doing the exercise, and also getting enough sleep. Taking care of the body also includes recognizing the symptoms of illness and addressing them immediately. What does it mean? When you feel that there is something different with your body, be conscious of it, take note of it. And sometimes if it gets to that point that it really bothers you, that you are unable to concentrate on your studies, then get immediate attention. If you can avoid the harmful habits, smoking, excessive drinking. For some of you, we will say, oh, ma'am, I need the smoking because it helps me concentrate. Fine. But if you do not have that habit, don't develop it, because you don't know what effect it may have, and it may not give you the peak performance that you need to have before you take the bar exams. Improving your immune system. Well, now more than ever, we really have to take steps to prevent illness and physical harm because COVID is still a reality. And you have to ensure that by the time you take the bar, you will test positive, test negative. Otherwise, if you test positive, especially there's a possibility that they may not allow you to take the exam. So this is one of the things that you will have to be conscious of. And so when you make those choices on what activities to take, if you can do everything to improve your immune system, be it eating the right foods or taking supplements, okay? Or if need be, vaccination, okay? For those who have not been vaccinated yet, try to see if you can be included in the list to be vaccinated. Okay, that's one way of improving your immune system. So, as I mentioned, take the steps to prevent any illness. Remember, peak performance. Your body has to be in the best possible condition to take that exam. The mind is a very important aspect of health in order to survive the bar examinations, because you need to maintain your ability to do critical thinking, creative problem solving, good judgment, common sense. And my late father-in-law used to say that common sense, unfortunately, is not common. Self-control, best thing that I think I recall what, again, Justice Yona said na bar muna bago jowa, because that would involve self-control. Positive attitude, optimism, confidence, coping skills, rapport building, all of these things that will help bring emotional and intellectual wellness. And it is important that you stay focused and you're able to concentrate. I remember one of the deans mentioning last week that, again, it is important that you have a space, maybe a table, that you go to when you actually do your review, that you can concentrate. Then you will have to ask everyone else around you that, to get their cooperation so that you can fully concentrate on what you're doing. And this will help you cope if there are no other distractions. But I remember my son, who actually would study in coffee shops. I guess you can't do that now, no? Considering that there are quarantine restrictions. But I was marveling at how can you concentrate with so many things going on in a coffee shop. So now maybe it will work for you if there are a lot of things going around you and you can still focus, that's fine. But ideally, if you can have your own space where you can actually just concentrate on the material. And by the way, part of common sense will tell you that you will not have time to read all of the available materials. You will have to choose. Remember, you have 11 weeks. Specifically, you have 75 days and roughly 17 hours before the bar. So you will have to make use of that available time. So you must choose the materials. And that choice is also something that you may have to have a conscious effort on. So, in other words, choose what you will be thinking about. And if possible, schedule when you will do particular activities. My take when it comes to, like, let's say, okay, unwinding, you can unwind but make sure that you have an opportunity to recover from too much unwinding. Example, you go on a drinking spree on a Saturday because it's your rest day on Sunday, fine. But you end up sleeping the whole Sunday. The things that you were scheduling to do on a Sunday will be gone because you're too tired, okay? You will have to factor in the recovery period when you do too much of anything. Okay? So be conscious of that because your mind can only do so much. And finally, of course, you have to have a healthy spirit. What does spirit mean? No? In the sense, this involves your values, the beliefs and principles that give meaning to your life, your religious beliefs, or a belief in a higher power. Your willingness to serve others is part of your spirit. Your sense of ethics and honesty, your relationship to people, to nature, to animals. There is purpose in your life. There is a legacy that you want to live. They have a think of how you fit into the whole scheme of things. So, these are things that are spiritual. Like when you say relationship to animals, like you notice how it actually lowers, it's seen to lower your blood pressure when you're actually playing with your pets. We have a dog here, Atty, and she brings us so much joy. And last night, my husband and I ended up carrying her and then cuddling her because my husband felt that nagtatampo siya sa amin, that we have not been giving her enough attention. So he said we have to carry her. And here we are, we had to hug her. We're actually empty nesters now. Our children are out doing their own stuff in Manila and in La Union. So we're empty nesters. So our pets actually give us a lot of joy. So mind you, what's nice with the provincial setting, if I may just share briefly, is that here our pets include not just Epi, our dog. We have 2 Aspins. We have 4 Aspins. We have a horse who's about to give birth next month, 4 turtles, 5 geese, 1 goat. So that's Animal Farm for you. Life in the province. Okay, so when you have this relationship with people, you have relationship with nature, then it's part of your spirit. Now, why are all these things so important? Because all of these are interconnected to your health. And if you understand the connection of your body to your mind, to your spirit, it will help you develop skills for coping with the demands of stressful situations. Example, if you are optimistic, you fall in love, and you have honesty, and you are more forgiving, and you are likely to be physically well. Understanding the connection will help you with coping skills for preparing to take the bar, and developing effective coping strategies is essential for making you productive and making life meaningful and being healthy. Knowing how to cope with demands and channel stress instead of dealing with stress in unproductive ways. Okay, examples of how you are dealing with stress in unproductive ways. First, denying or ignoring or repressing your feelings or problems so that you don't have to face them. Idededma mo, even if you know that the reality is there. Okay, I don't care. I don't want to think about it. It's not going to happen. No? You will have to be wearing masks. You will have to be wearing shields when you take the bar. So get used to the idea that it is going to happen. You Another unproductive way of dealing with stress is you end up lashing at other people. This is unproductive because instead of drawing people to help you, you are actually repelling them. So it will limit the number of people that you have in your support system, and usually you end up lashing at someone whom you really care for. Another unproductive way of dealing with stress is you turn to alcohol, cigarettes, or even drugs to reduce the tension. We all know where that usually ends up. If you have anything in excess or you abuse any substance. Eating too little or too much can also be a way of an unproductive way of dealing with stress. And when you think that you are able to handle your problems without getting help, so that's also not a very good way of dealing with stress. Now, let me share with you some of the strategies, just a few of them, 10 here in managing stress. First, you have to develop that awareness. Be attuned to your body. Know what your emotions are when you are faced with a stressful situation and how you react. And then you examine yourself and assess. When you are faced with this, do you have frequent headaches or stomach aches? Do you find it difficult to relax? Are you always agitated because I'm not done reading, I'm not done reading? The more that you will not be able to finish what you are supposed to read. Are you emotionally upset, depressed, or irritable? You lack the vitality, you lack the animal. Maybe because you don't find purpose or meaning in what you're doing. Okay, it's okay to feel that way. You give yourself permission to feel several different emotions, but learn strategies to pull yourself out of a slump. So, how do you do this? You actually ask somebody else. If you cannot do it yourself, you have to, uy, libangan mo naman ako, ikwento mo naman sa akin, patawin mo naman ako, para just so that you get your mind, so that you can deal with it. After that you have experienced the emotion, I feel sad. How do I get over the sadness? Ask for help. But be aware of what you are going through. Dispute negative thoughts. You challenge yourself, to overcome self-defeating thoughts and replace them with positive, realistic, and full thoughts. The most significant character that I remember that would match this actually description would be Eeyore, who is a complete contrast to Winnie the Pooh. Eeyore is the pessimistic, gloomy, depressed, old gray stuffed donkey who is also a friend of Winnie the Pooh. He would often say, "We're not gonna make it. We are doomed." Okay. Don't be an Eeyore. Be a Winnie the Pooh. Change the negative thinking to confident, optimistic thoughts and actions. It will totally make a difference. And, you have the power to do that. If you continue to think negatively, then you are likely to fall into actually further pessimism, and you will describe your stressful situations with words such as, how if you are pessimistic, it says, "We will never make it. It is always so difficult," because you are already imagining the worst possible outcome. It says, "Oh, even if I study, I won't make it, I won't make it." Negative thinking can lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy. In other words, sa kakaulit mo ng sinasabi mo na hindi mangyayari, hindi ka papasa, talagang hindi ka papasa. But if you will say that, you will affirm yourself and say that, "I'm going to make this, I have this, I'm going to pass," you can change those negative thoughts to confident, optimistic, positive thoughts and actions. So it's up to you. Again, if we go back to our example earlier, You can choose to be a stress profile or to be a healthy profile. So which do you want to be? Next, find time to rest your mind, body, and spirit. Unwind, stretch, and tone the muscles and focus of energy. You know, that's one of the reasons why you should exercise. No? So it's one way, like for some, there are people who prefer to exercise at the start of the day, but for others, they want it as a way to end their day because they want to rid themselves of all the stress from too much reading. Or you can do exercises like yoga and Pilates. So many material in YouTube that you can just follow. If you find it difficult, to do things on your own, FB, there's so many things that are free. So go ahead and explore what works for you. Meditation, or just create time for yourself when your mind is free to rest and quiet itself. Sometimes when you just meditate, you just try to keep, nothing in particular, not thinking in particular, just give your mind time to rest. Or you can go for a walk, listen to music, create art, dance, or sing. You just allot a time, no? You cannot be doing it also naman for so many hours. Just have time for resting. It's nice to get a massage, but I guess now it's difficult because of quarantine restrictions and safety concerns. But if you have an access to safe massage, go ahead, get a massage. And if it's impossible for you to get other people to do these things for you, then you go and visualize. Picture yourself, confidently going into the test examination room and then acing that exam, feeling confident that you will know all the answers to all the questions. I was very fortunate that when I took the bar, I had a support system. So I had the support and comfort of family. I had a tutor 24/7. My husband at the time had already been a lawyer and a law professor for several years. So he was my go-to person. I hope you all have a go-to person to help you, just even to clear your mind, to sort out a confusion regarding a particular canon or a particular law, or just someone who will help you make better decisions, whether to go for RT-PCR test, whether you should here or there, whether I should register to take the bar here or there. And a support system would also be a virtual group study. I understand that many of the baristas now actually have like a Zoom meeting with actually just keep each other company. They don't speak, but they just see each other, studying. So it will give you a sense of security, personal fulfillment, and motivation. If this has the effect on you, then go ahead, have the virtual study. But if it is a distraction and you are unable to concentrate, then there are too many of you in a group, then maybe you're better off studying on your own. But have a support system. Okay. Rehearse going to bar venue and taking the bar exams. Like these things you really, really have to plan for. When we took the bar in 1994, and with apologies to PLM and to President Jemmy, that was the only exam in PLM, and boy, what a challenging time we had. Okay, pagpasok pa lang, to go into the campus on day one. Nakapila na kami lahat, Of course, reviewing. Okay. Bigla na lang, you could see that the line all of a sudden people move aside. And I said, well, what's going on? How come? Of course, first Sunday, and you see everybody like they're spreading out. Why are they spreading out? It turns out that the line that we had actually fell on the rails of the train, so railroad track rather. So, of course, disperse lahat ang mga tao kasi may dumaan na train. So, of course, for many of us, it was also a source of stress. Okay, so we did not anticipate that. Okay, so my suggestion is know once you find out where you will be assigned to take the bar, know and understand how to get to the venue. Practicein mo na paano ka pupunta, sino maghahatid sa'yo, sino magsusundo sa'yo. If it's not possible for you to do an actual or physical rehearsal, then maybe a virtual or mental visualization rehearsal will do. You might have resources on the net that will show the facilities of the particular school. In all likelihood, they will not assign you to the campus of the law school that you went to. They will probably most likely assign you to a school that is not yours, even if they will be hosting the bar exam. And I think this is something that Justice Leonen made clear to us. No? Identify the potential problem areas and your fears. Like, let's say, okay, you'll not be able to find your room. No? So you try to address those fears early on. Find a solution, manage it, get information that you need so that you will be able to resolve all of these fears. Okay, so even if they change, then you'll have to factor those things in when you consider rehearsing to take the bar. And even just rehearsing with the use of your laptop, how much time that you will be spending in answering. These are things you simulate taking the bar exams. This is very, very important. Laughing is the best medicine because laughing produces endorphins, natural chemicals that strengthen the immune system and produce a sense of well-being. Laughter also increases oxygen flow to the brain and causes other positive physiological changes. So find many things to laugh about, no? Whether it be joy in nature, music, art, people, that's where your support system can come in. They can help provide you with something to laugh about in 1 year. Pre-pandemic, I had the opportunity to be with my high school classmates for about a week. And that was one experience where I could say I laughed every day. And I really felt so healthy after that because I laughed every day. The next, plan. Of course, we know that if you lead a disorganized life, it is stressful. If need be, write down what has to be done each day. Do not rely on your memory because you have so many things to think of, and the tendency of your mind is to displace the ones that are not important. So in order for you to remember what you need to do, write it down. Set aside a few minutes, before you end your day to plan, solve problems if there are problems, and then explore solutions. Get involved in the solutions. Have a time frame, when you will be thinking about this problem and try to find the solutions. If you cannot find the solution right there and then, shelve it first, put it aside, and then get the rest that you need. Then you come back the following day and try to resolve the unresolved problems in your next session or the following day, that is. No? Kasi there are times that even if you rack your brain right there and then, you will not be able to find solutions. So wait for another day, maybe an enlightenment can come to you when you sleep over the problem. Yes, keep a journal. I know that it's difficult to write things down. It's not a habit for many of the people, but it is important that you have a journal that would regularly take note of the events and how you reacted. Okay, maybe something as simple as like just writing phrases, doesn't have to be sentences and all that, of how, you know, the things that you will have to deal with. Like for instance, like you'll have to have time to study how to use the software. Okay, and if you cannot do it yourself, you've tried trying to absorb, then, you know, maybe it's time to get somebody else. So that's when you need professional help. Okay, it need not be somebody professional that you have to pay. No, so know the type of help that you need, when you need it, and how to get it. And if it's a physical concern, of course, you go to a doctor. If it's a problem in one of your subjects, ask one of your professors or one of your friends who are highly knowledgeable on the topic. If it is recurring, get a friend to talk to you. But if it is something that is rather already, prolonged, the emotional toll is already affecting how you are able to study, then perhaps it is time to get professional help. There are consults that you can do for free. Find out where you can do this. You can ask your friends to help you locate where you can get professional help. But maybe in some of your bar ops, if you think that there are those, because there is a lot that you are dealing with. It's not just the pandemic, it's preparation for the bar and all these things, and it can get overwhelming. And finally, I have found this extremely helpful in managing stress, because sometimes you really just don't know the solution. But it helps if, when you start and end the day, you give a prayer of thanks, even just to thank the Lord that you woke up, that you are still alive, and that you are breathing. These are simple things that I know many of people we know have gone through, especially under this pandemic, that they did not live to see another day, and worse, the journey towards like expiration was difficult because they had lost, their sense of smell, and they had difficulty breathing. So when you feel overwhelmed, take time to pause and take time to pray. And just ask, whoever it is that you believe in, or your faith encourages you to talk with. Just ask your divine, the divine lords to help you, to be with you, and to help clear your mind. Ganun na. Just pray for help. Okay, so I hope that would. Okay, let me just share with you. I took this photo. It is natural, unfiltered. This is the view from the residence. And this is a blessing that you experience by starting the day early. And that's what I are taking the bar. Start your day early. Why? You will have to wake up early when you take the bar. So pag nasanay ka na, na you will have to wake up early. And, it puts you on the right mindset. Hindi ka nagmamadali. You have the time to do the things that you need to do. So, and if you're able to finish your task for the day early, then you can retire early. But there is, if you have that choice to start your day early and then end early, or to start your day late and then end very late, go for starting your day early. And this is one of the blessings that you see by starting your day early. You have a better mindset. Okay, so that those are my reflections for you. And let me just say that after sana, no, when you do your introspection, you do this awareness exercises, you will be able to convince yourself and say, kaya ko na talaga yan. Yung bar na yan, I can slay. Okay? So, I leave you with this reflection. Every person is born with purpose. In Proverbs chapter 20, verse 5, and I quote, "The purposes of a person's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight draws them out." I believe, this is my belief, that people are made in the image of God, and each one of us is born with a purpose. And He is just calling that we discover or be completely miss if we don't take the time to discover God's purpose for us. The reason why you are taking the bar, there is a purpose there. The influence of the Holy Spirit in the lives of believers give us insight to His purpose for us. We find peace and courage when we sense the confirmation of that Spirit, that we are in the right place and at the right time of our designated calling. So you are there, we are here, we're doing what we are for a particular reason. And it is up to you to find out what the reason. Now, why are you reviewing for this? On a final note, what really encouraged me when I was taking the bar was that, like the introduction of Rex Education, no? The intro there, it says that because you want to make the difference in people's lives. And true, the only way that you can make a difference is when you are adept at a particular field. If you know your craft as a lawyer, you will be able to help more people safeguard their rights and uplift their spirits. So if it is for this reason, then all the more reason that you should be encouraged to study, to work hard, to be the best that you can be, to become the healthy you that you need to be at your peak performance when you take the bar. So it's not just for yourself, but because you want to be a better person to serve others, to do what is the Lord's purpose for you in life. So with that, I hope that you will find meaning in the things that I mentioned here. Then, and John, may I know if I just have a few more minutes? I will be sharing all of these slides with you, but if maybe just about 5 minutes. These are practical things that you might want to do, no, before taking the digital exam. And this is called from also my experience when we had to take that online exam. You have to familiarize yourself with Bar Plus program as early as possible. So the sooner you register, I think the better that you will be able to get access to the program. So the better, no, because that's one of your list of stressors. You have to double check your computer settings before to make sure that you avoid any problems, that it is compatible with what the bar is going to be requiring. And then when you take the exam, remember you have to shut down all the programs not needed for the test. Set the window size of your screen and practice fixing and resizing so you don't accidentally cause the test to reload. You know, when you're taking the test for the first time, it's really nerve-wracking. So if you can do trial tests, go ahead and do it. Make sure you can see the timer and the computer clock. If you cannot see the timer, then you will have to make sure you have another time device, be it your watch or something else, and that you will know how much time you have left to start in order to answer the exam. wait for the test to be fully loaded, no? Kasi sometimes masyadong atat na ka nang sumagot, and you don't wait for it to download before you access it. So baka maputol. So wait for it to be fully loaded before accessing it, and use only the allowed functions when taking the exam. I understand that these programs are rather sensitive, and sometimes they can detect if you are accessing programs other than those that you are authorized to do so. No, like let's say if it's going to, it can note if you will be using like search engine. Follow instructions carefully, and if there is a save option, use it often, just to make sure that you are loading your answers. You know, it's happened to me with my a student, because I was conducting the exam online, and so they're supposed to email to me their answers, and I would confirm if I received the email before I let them go. She actually sent me, but I did not have the chance to check what exactly it was that she sent. So I presumed that it was the right one. It turned out that she sent me another exam. Okay, so make sure that you send the right one, because you might not have. Well, fortunately for her, I immediately checked after, and I was able to tell her, no, this is not your exam. Go back and send me the right exam immediately. So make sure that you send it, and use the submit button only once, because if you do it several times, it might malfunction, and this will allow you to confirm that your test was actually easy. So again, with that, I thank you, and now I'm ready for your questions if you have any. Thank you, John.
Thank you so much, Atty. Mitoy. I hope all of our viewers learn a thing or two. We have here 200 plus viewers. I just want to give a shout out to some of our viewers. We have here from Wesleyan University in Cabanatuan, Southwestern University, Mayong Hapon. We also have here New Era University, Tomas Claudio Colleges, Bukidnon State University, Colegio de la Purísima Concepción, Rojas City, Mindanao State University, St. Mary's College of Tagum, University of Eastern Philippines, MSU Law. There's a lot, actually. We have a lot of viewers coming in from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. We have here some questions, but these are technical questions. I'm not sure if this is the right venue to be asking those questions. But for the viewers' sake, you can answer this or not answer this, Attorney Mitoy. I have a question here. In complying with the Bar Plus, for those who registered in July, will you consider basing the documents actually submitted by the applicants rather than some minor errors like NA to authenticate no answer po, since the rule regarding it were clearly announced as notice only on October 4? Would you like to answer that question, Attorney
No,
Mitoy?
I don't think that I would be in a position to answer that.
Yeah.
I would suggest though that PALS would like to think, if probably compile these questions involving the technical aspect of submitting their applications online, so they can be addressed by the court as soon as possible. So that's just my suggestion. No, I mean, like, keep these questions coming, because I think it's important that even the Philippine Association of Law Schools will be able to address all of your concerns. The earlier, the better. And maybe in the next forum, you can probably have, someone answer all those questions, as technical questions regarding the, the application and all the hardware and all the technical stuff.
True. I believe that Attorney Mitoy have shared a few insights lang kung paano ba, what are the last tips and tricks regarding with such as submitting only once to your exam. Because as a professor, Attorney Mitoy has an experience of this online platform. We have here some comments. Thank you, Attorney, for the strategies. Thank you po, Your Honor, for the encouragement. This is so timely. I have here a question from Vicente Solteo Jr. This is a very vague question, but would you like to answer this, Attorney Mitoy? Would this bar exam very difficult?
Would it be difficult?
Yes. How would you respond to that?
All exams are difficult if you don't prepare for it. You know, they're well. That's how exams are expected to be. It's not expected to be easy. Because it's supposed to test your skills, your abilities, what you have learned for at least, throughout law school. So it's not going to be easy, but it is something that you can hurdle. I reiterate what I mentioned, which I'm actually calling from the discussions made by Justice Yonen, that he said that it would rather be basic. He will take into consideration the application of codal provisions and jurisprudence, canonical interpretations. Yun lang. He doesn't even go into let's say the complicated interpretation of certain laws. So kung sinasabi niya yung canonical is paulit-ulit na ginagamit, so it's a very standard application of the law. And I would think that if you have been diligent all throughout law school, that you would be able to hurdle that those questions or those problems in the bar.
Thank you, Attorney Mitoy. How about this, Attorney Mitoy? I'm not sure also if this is the proper venue to be asking this question, but will there be enumerations and definition exams during the bar?
Possibly.
Enumeration and...
I think he did not discount that possibility. So I think there would be, let's say, if they will ask you for the codal provision, then necessarily if it would entail an enumeration, then it could, it could be asked, and it would see if you actually know the elements of certain crimes or, so it's possible. So good to just be ready for that as well, in other words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So earlier, someone asked if this exam would be difficult. I believe, Attorney Mitoy, every exam is difficult. Even the COVID test is even difficult to pass. So better to be prepared for this. I have here some viewers from, want to say hi to our viewers from University of Saint LaSalle College of Law from Bacolod City. Most of our comments here are truly an appreciation because this is very timely. We also have here from PUP Bar Review Center and Manila Law College. Thank you so much. We have a lot, actually. Wow. Hi, ma'am. Justice Lunen has implied that he prefers UP style or direct to the point answers for this bar rather than the more commonly used ALAC format in previous bar exams. Would you suggest answering in UP style then, or sticking with the ALAC format? Attorney Mitoy?
ALAC. I hope you don't mind if I turn off my video because I'm getting signals of unstable connection. How do I respond to that? Basically, you will just have to answer the problems first. This is how I would suggest you would formulate your answers. Answer the question first. Usually because you already have this whole explanation, but you don't have a particular response. So look at what is being asked. Okay, the who, what, when, where, why, and then you respond accordingly, and then give the explanation. This is how he explained to us, from what I recall during that, there might be other fora and you might want to ask him those questions, but from what I recall during that forum on July 1st, he said that then you identify, what particular law or jurisprudence would be applicable to that problem. And then, your grade will be determined from like how precise, no, that the choice of the particular law or provision or jurisprudence that you chose to apply to that problem, and that it is consistent with existing laws and jurisprudence. So, in other words, pag sinabi mong style, ang importante naman dun is talagang first, it's clear what your answers are, and the basis for your answers is also indicated, which is very basic. He kept on emphasizing the fact that it must be basic. Okay, so whether that's UP style or any other style, that's my response to that question. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Attorney Mitoy. I have a follow-up question here regarding that. Will vaccination for the bar examinees be compulsory, Madam? There's a question from Bruno Jr. in regards to that question.
Yes. Again, let me just say that this is actually from the lecture that he gave to during the webinar, no, sponsored by the Ateneo Law Alumni Association, and he said that for every need for the examiners to do a test every week for 4 consecutive weeks before the exam. So that could change, that could be modified, but for now, that is what he indicated. And he said, like, I think recently I've read somewhere that they would encourage bar takers to actually be vaccinated. And but again, going back to your question, whether there will be need, I am, from what I recall, he said, yes, they may require the examinees to undergo testing before. It could be RT-PCR, it could be antigen. So we don't know yet, no? So we'll just have to wait for further instructions from the Supreme Court, the Bar Confident.
Thank you so much, Attorney Mitoy. We also have one viewer here. I would like to acknowledge Jansen Floren, the president of U-Class, the society in UC. Thank you for watching. We have almost 200 viewers who stayed with us since 2 p.m. Thank you so much. In regards with the vaccination and the COVID protocols, there's also one question here, Attorney Mitoy, from Abby Merihana of Notre Dame University in Cotabato City. Good PM. Is it true that if tested positive during exam, an examinee and all those members of those classroom assignment are automatically disqualified to continue taking the exam?
Okay. I cannot confirm or deny that at this point because those guidelines have not yet been actually, I think they have not been prepared and they have not been disseminated. So we will just have to wait for further advice, no, from the Office of the Bar Confidant. But suffice for it to be said that you are expected to have negative results all throughout the bar. So kung mangyayari yun, I do not know how they will address that, but from what I recall that Justice Leonen said that they will be asking the examinees to undergo testing to ensure the safety of everyone. Okay.
Thank you, Attorney Mitoy. I have here a follow-up question from Bruno Rubio Jr. As a distinguished in the legal profession, is there a legal or constitutional provision that would be violated if vaccination becomes compulsory, Madam? This would be like a personal opinion of yours, Attorney Mitoy, if you would like
If
to
it
answer this
is
question.
compulsory, I guess
Yes,
depending on
is
the
there any legal
activity.
provision that will be violated if
If
vaccines would be compulsory?
if it's for the bar, well, I guess you have no choice, no? That then because that would be in order to regulate, no, to the conduct of the bar, then they are free to come up with provisions that would have to be complied by all examinees should they wish to take the exam. They would have to be compliant. I cannot. The only other provision that, if you're talking generally, no, I have just come across a guidelines, no, from the IATF that it is not required for continued employment, but for the purposes of the bar exam, they may actually require that they have negative test results in order for an examinee to continue to take the exam for all the 4 Sundays. Okay, so I hope that addresses your questions because it's medyo very broad and big. Okay, now again, no, let me reiterate, and I think Angge and President Jemmy I like it when you ask questions like this because you are actually addressing the stressor, and you want to resolve them as soon as possible. So I would suggest again that PALS take note so that this will be a service that can be rendered for the barristers, no, so that these concerns can be addressed and the proper policies and procedures can be put in place for the guidance of everyone, those taking the bar and those who will be conducting.
Thank you, Attorney Mitoy. Just how about a closing statement for those who are concerned with COVID? I know everyone is concerned, but what will be your words of encouragement in regards with COVID and the bar exams taking over in the next few months?
I know that it has been difficult. It has already been difficult for the past year and a half. And it will still be a challenge to ensure that you remain negative all throughout until the end of the bar. Okay? But then, as in anything that you want to achieve, you just put your heart and minds and souls into it, body, mind, and spirit. And it is something that you will be able to do, to achieve, to overcome. Okay? COVID is not yet going to go away. We will have to live with COVID. We will have to take the bar still with COVID. So that being the case, we are in a position to do something about how we react or not react to this stressor. Let's act accordingly. Let's decide, make those important decisions because it will not affect just you and the bar examination that you're taking, but everyone else around you. So choose wisely. Make the day-to-day decisions, whether to go out, not to go out, whether to wear a mask, not to wear a mask, to wear a face, all these things. Make the right decisions and choose wisely. Okay? Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Attorney Mitoy. In behalf of our 200 plus viewers this afternoon who stayed with us since 2 p.m. Thank you so much, Attorney Mitoy. Carla, would you like to present on screen our certificate of appreciation to Attorney Mitoy? There you have. Certificate of appreciation is presented to Honorable Maria Milagros N. Fernan-Cayosa. I cannot read it's so small, but anyhow, there you go. For sharing her expertise as a resource speaker on Bar Ops Pilipinas 2020 to 2021. The best bar ever webinar lecture series. Given this 23rd day of August in the year of our Lord 2021. Attorney Mitoy, thank you. Thank you so much for gracing this event.
And
And
we also just thank our host again, no? You, John, and also to Miss Carla, Miss Trixie, and Miss Lorraine, and Rex Educacion, and of course to PALS, the Philippine Association of Law Schools, headed by its president, Emilito Festin. Maraming salamat po.
thank you so much, Attorney Mitoy. To our viewers, and this video is uploaded in our Facebook page. You can still view this one after the streaming. This event would be every Monday on August 30. We have here, oo na, sasagutin na kita. Wow. Answering bar questions. This is in line with our slogan, bar muna bago jowa. On September, we have Caso Discurso. On October, we have discussion on frequently asked topics. We would like to acknowledge that this event was made possible by the partnership of PALS and Rex. Thank you also to our technical committee, and thank you so much, everyone, to all of our viewers, the baristas, the bar takers, and the law students. Once again, this is John of UC Law, now signing off. Good afternoon.